into the microphone. I guess she was frustrated after the question.
The original question I asked about
horrible.
That is a reflection on that witness, and the jury can evaluate that.
The level of disrespect. But again, it's one of the moments where we're supposed to act like we didn't hear what we just heard.
I'm not just saying that. The court has addressed it before because it's happened before. So we're not making this up.
It's horrible.
And as they have been told before, to be mindful of the things that they say and the fact that it can be picked up by the jury.
If she wants to make derogatory comments, then that is a poor reflection on her. And the jury, if they heard it, will notice. I don't know why that's lucky, because the jury is not going to watch the live stream.
I'm not talking about, I'm saying.
I mean, the jury is the one deciding this case.
If you're new, make sure y'all hit that notification bell, that like, share, comment, and subscribe. Grab a seat. We finna dig deep.
What's up, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. Before we dig deep, man, y'all go ahead and smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow and allows me to continue bringing everybody this exclusive content. Y'all ready? Let's dig. Now, things just took a major turn in the YSL RICO trial when the former detective, expert, witness, sergeant, detective, or top flight security, Detective Gaither, actually went on a belligerent mumble and rant attacking the defense. Was it the pressure of the defense that actually had the state star witness back against the fence? Will the judge's ruling on this matter actually be just another assist for the state? Or was this just another calculated chess move from the state to handicap the defense? Will the judge's ruling be another game-changing moment in this trial? Man, stick around so you can definitely find out. Y'all make sure y'all stick around to the very end so we can see how this plays out again. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're feeling the content. Y'all ready? Grab a seat. We finna dig deep.
Then I want to go back to the original question I asked about
horrible.
allowing Mr. Copeland to speak with Mr. Garlington on a non-recorded line, okay?
I don't believe I stated.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Judge. May we approach briefly, please?
Yes.
That's
The
dead.
original question I asked about
horrible.
I ask you to address the witness and speak to the witness, and also, quite frankly, to speak to the DA as well. Because of the way everyone is positioned, they're obviously closer to the jury than anybody else. Their microphones are live, and what they say can be picked up on a microphone. A couple of times.
Sorry, who? What the state says at their table?
And what the witness is saying. And there have been at least 3 occasions where the witness has either before or after a question muttered something and said something into the microphone that can be picked up.
Well, I certainly haven't heard it. I can barely hear the answers.
I am not the only one who's heard it. At that last exchange, I heard her say something. I couldn't make out what she said. Into the microphone, I guess she was frustrated after the question. And it's being picked up by the microphone. And if I can hear her muttering over here, whatever she's saying can be heard to the jury. And it's just inappropriate. I think it's simple enough to tell her to not make any extraneous comments that can possibly be picked up by the jury. Same thing for the state. And we've actually addressed this before prior to this court's involvement in the case, where there have been times where the state, either out of frustration or who knows why they're doing it, says something, or they're making faces and they're saying something that can be picked up by the microphone. And because they're that close to the jury, I'm sure the jury can hear it too. So I'm just asking, as I've asked before, and as they have been told before, to be mindful of the things that they say and the fact that it can be picked up by the jury.
I can't say that I heard this because I was in the middle of everything, but I've been told by multiple sources that once my cross-examination was finished and Mr. Steele was going to begin, the witness said horrible.
Horrible?
Horrible.
What? Okay.
And she's sitting right next to the jury.
If the witness and or the state is saying things like that and the jury hears them, I cannot imagine that reflects well on either of them.
Yeah. This guy is horrible. Yeah, we heard it. Now, even more interesting is, for some reason, when the state called you up here and they questioned you about the same questions, asked you the same things over and over again, let you leave, brought you back to ask you the same question. Any reason you didn't have the same energy for the state that you did for the defense? And a cheap shot right here in front of the jury like that. Now, what's interesting is, of course, the state didn't hear it and the judge didn't hear it. So I'm asking myself, if none of y'all heard it and the defense heard it way over there, what's the chance that the jury heard it sitting right here? Let's dig.
Your Honor, I have to say, I would ask that presumptions based on assertions by counsel for opposing for the defendants not be taken as true and then spoken as if they are by this honorable court? Because I have no idea what Mr. Adams is talking about. I have not heard any mutterings. I don't know what Mr. Scardt is talking about. The state does not have the luxury to sit here and say what it believes someone from the defense is doing without it being cut off quickly. So I'd ask that the court not act on what is being asserted by counsel for the defendants as we stop these proceedings to address something nobody heard, but apparently Mr. Adams.
Now, as if the state hasn't already lost their credibility and their integrity with this trial, ask yourself this. Why would the state actually jump in to actually defend Detective Gaither? To actually sit up and act like nothing has ever been said? This is the first time? No, it's not the first time. This is a repetitive pattern of behaviors by the state. And in my personal opinion, as I said before, I feel like this is actually done purposely, just to sway the jury, because the state knows that they're actually losing grasp of this case. Let's dig.
Fortunately,
And Mr. Scardt.
Fortunately, this trial is televised.
And Your Honor,
You know what? I'm going to stick with what I said before, which is if a witness wants to present themselves in that way in front of the jury, that is a reflection on that witness, and the jury can evaluate that. So, no, I'm not going to advise her or any other witness one way or, well, depends on what they say. And I didn't actually hear anything, but no.
Actually brings me to my next point and question. How would that actually impact the jury? If the jury actually heard that, being that they're there to assess the credibility of both sides, the defense and the state, was that not a low blow to the defense? Done right there on purpose from the state? Something like that come out from an important witness from the state, it should actually make the jury question, are her motives truly unbiased? Was this just a simple frustration of slip of the tongue? Or was it a bigger bias at play? Let's dig.
If she wants to make derogatory comments, then that is a poor reflection on her. And the jury, if they heard it, will notice it. And to the extent, I mean, I haven't, was that basically just about this witness?
It was about the witness and about the prosecution. And let's
Who's
be clear.
doing this, or you believe is doing right now?
Yes, and who has done it? I'm not just saying that. The court has addressed it before, because it's happened before. So we're not making this up. She was admonished previously by the prior court to stop doing that.
And you're saying she's doing it again, and it is making faces and or comments.
Making faces, making comments. It can be picked up by the microphone. These mics are live. And as Mr. Scardt pointed out, luckily, this trial is being televised and
I don't
live.
know why that's lucky, because the jury is not going to watch the live stream.
I'm not talking about I'm saying.
I mean, the jury is the one deciding this case.
I wanted to stop it right there, because for one, yeah, the jury is the ones deciding this case, but imagine if this case wasn't actually being televised. That's why the defense is lucky, because imagine if y'all had them really in their handicap and nobody really was able to see exactly how the state was maneuvering. That's why they say lucky. What they mean lucky? Yes, they're lucky because you get to see the public unfairness and treatment of these defendants in this court trial. That's why they're lucky. Not lucky that you're the judge, and lucky that that's the prosecutor, or lucky that we have a 2-year-long trial that we haven't seen the furtherance. Nobody's located RICO, no connection to ties with Young Thug to the big nut. Like, it's all just alleged and speculated. So yeah, that's why they are lucky. They're lucky that we are able to see it. But for you to have the disrespect as the judge to Adams like that with just complete disregard of what he said, this is one of the reasons. You're one of the reasons why he is lucky. They're all lucky. Shout out to the people that are actually covering the actual trial. The audacity of the courts, the level of disrespect and disregard. Let's dig.
The person making the complaint about the behavior is the defendants. And I'm in support of what I'm saying. I'm telling you that we are not the only ones who have noticed this. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Well,
Your Honor, and I would ask, I have asked that the microphone not be close to counsel's table over here behind, so that
Which microphone are y'all even talking about?
anyone that can pick up conversation at the state's table, because I'm not trying to have our
No, it shouldn't be. You all,
That's-
any attorneys ought to be able to talk to each other at their table privately without anything being picked up. So I don't know if that means y'all want to turn off your mic because we're in a big awkward courtroom where nobody can hear anybody sometimes, but then apparently people can hear mutterings under the breath other times.
Now, that is actually interesting to sit up and watch the judge and the state actually downplay what was actually just said in front of the jury. Just disregard the words but leave the damage.
So
we have it off. I've unhooked this, even though it was off. I don't want anything said at council table heard.
all right.
Period.
And then I don't know what the situation is with the mics that are on the back table, whether those are off.
No,
Okay.
What we learned the last time, if that mic is on,
That mic being the podium mic, which has to be on.
so we have to be more conscious. Sometimes the podium mic can pick up our conversation because we're closest to.
Mr. Maurice has something to add, and maybe he knows because he's a media guy.
We are not picking up our conversations. Can hear a witness. She's left a couple remarks towards the end of her.
Y'all, I guess because y'all are plugged straight into the system, y'all get to hear way more than we get to through the ambient air. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, I wish we could hear as well as the live stream apparently can, but there's nothing that can be done about that.
So here is what things should get even more questionable when it comes to the state's theory, the narrative, and the ethics. Because remember, this isn't just the first time that something like this has happened. Keep in mind, when Judge G, who was the previous judge who was also removed from the case, has already addressed these same and similar issues with the actual prosecutor slipping up, making questionable comments when it comes to the defense and some of the defendants. So was the defense correct when they say that the prosecutor of the state has actually already been warned about this previous behavior and these patterns that we're definitely seeing again? And are these patterns of behavior that we're witnessing actually the state just showing they'll do anything to win? Should the state and the judge be held accountable for allowing these actions to happen? Or was it just simply another one of the state's undermining tactics? Were the investigators / detectives / witnesses' words just another assist for the state? At the end of the day, moments like this are definitely critical when it comes to a high-profile case. Now, the jury is definitely paying attention to every little detail, especially those that are coming from the defense and the state. But do you not think that the jury is paying close attention to details and actually seeing the coercion from the state? Now, a few things that I did want to make sure that I pointed out in this video was that the state and the witness have no respect for anybody in this courtroom, not even the judge at this point. For the prosecutor to sit up here and lie or keep going into these stutter spurs is just mind-blowing. To sit and act like everything is just the first time. Like this case, the evidence and the witnesses, we haven't seen been clearly manipulated and coerced, misled into this actual situation with this case. Let's bring it to the witness. To be hidden from the camera, missing your reports, an investigator, an expert, even down to a repeat witness, being in whatever high-profile position, was that ethical or professional for you to mumble that in front of the jury, knowing your position? Do we actually all just witness another employee for the state try to help the state with the state's case? Remember, where's RICO at anyway? Did the judge get it right with the ruling, acting like she actually didn't hear it? Did you hear what I heard? Was it not heard clearly? Did Detective Gaither not actually just say, or investigator, detective, whatever you call us, top flight security Gaither, just not actually sit here and say what we actually heard you say? And for the state to sit up and keep lying in front of the judge's face. Man, why is it that the judge just keeps turning her cheek the opposite way? Man, I'm your host, Jay. And man, until next time, y'all make sure if you ain't subscribed to the channel, tap that like button on the way out. Tap that notification bell so you'll get the drops whenever I drop. And remember, the life you save might be your very own. Until next time, I'm your host, Jay. Gone.